Hi everybody, welcome back. And why am I still wearing this? I'm sure you guys would have started a job, and then once you start, you think to yourself, why did I do this in the first place? Um, and this is what happened to me. As you recall in the last video, I showed you guys how I lowered the power steering cooler lower to another position on the front of the car. Anyway, yeah, with the last video, like I said, I showed you I lowered the power steering cooler, and I said I'll install the intercooler and everything and show you guys once it's finished what it looks like. However, I ran into a small problem which I didn't anticipate. By lowering the power steering cooler to the bottom position there, it made for a very tight fit. Actually, I'll show you. It made for a very tight fit on with the intercooler. So, what I had to do was, I had to, there you can see the power steering cooler, and then in front of the intercooler. Now the intercooler, the tanks, is virtually hard up against the fins of the power steering cooler. And what I had to do, I had to trim some more away in the front here. There was already some trimmed away when I put the intercooler in the first place, but I had to do a bit more trimming. And as you can see, I had some hose left over from the transmission cooler, so I just put a slit in that and slid over there to protect the intercooler from touching the bodywork and scratching it. And yeah, because of that, I had to make new brackets, because what it did, it's actually moved the intercooler a bit forward on the bottom. So I had to make new brackets. I'll just grab, this is the original bracket, and as you can see, the bottom bit here is pointing forward, but because I pulled the bottom of the intercooler forward, the top moved back. So me being clever, I thought I'll just put this in the vise and try to bend it this way so I could use it, but yeah, that didn't work. It was tougher than I thought, and the powder coatings came off, and yeah, it just wasn't, it just wouldn't work. So what I did, I had some of this aluminum strip left over from when I put the I used for the oil cooler here, the transmission cooler. They come in a meter length, and it's 20 mil wide by 3 mil thick. And I thought, well, why don't I use that, because it's lighter. Not that it makes much difference, but I try to save weight where I can. And I had to fabricate new brackets. And the same on the bottom here. I had to fabricate new brackets too, because here's the old one. And as you can see, that's in the way. It's a fair bit, that's better. It's a fair bit longer than new ones. So yeah, that made for fun and games. And me being stubborn, I thought, well, I'm not gonna move that power steering cooler up to its original position again. I want to leave it where it was. So I just persevered. And then, of course, everything didn't fit. I had to, I actually had to cut off a silken hose here. It was, for some reason, it's just way too tight. It's just pushing against each other. So I cut off about, 30 mil off at the front there. And it just fits a lot nicer now. Yeah, that's where I had to cut it off from. It's just too much pressure too. It's too tight. So I just cut that off. Anyway, long story short, I got there. It just, I used a few choice words while I was doing this, thinking, why did I start on this? But anyway, it's all finished. I thought I'll show you. Here's another thing. In the previous video, you would have seen I made holes in this duct. So once I installed the duct and put the intercooler in, of course the holes weren't big enough. And because the intercooler is so hard to get in, such a tight fit, I had to try to make these holes bigger in situ. And that was a job and a half too. I tried using a knife and a jigsaw, and the jigsaw just made a mess, and I used an angle grinder, and I tried everything. But in the end, I got there. It's just one of those things where you think, why did I start on this? But anyway, I just thought I'll show you before I put the crash bar on what it all looks like. I'll just pause for a minute, put the crash bar on, and then continue on. Be back in a sec. All right, crash bar is back on. Transmission cooler connected up. All I gotta do now is button it up. I'll show you what it looks like now. There you go, there's the crash bar on. Actually, it looks a lot neater with that duct in place, because now you don't see the body work. And I suppose the Ford engineers knew what they were doing. It directs the airflow to the radiator, so it should work out all right. I don't know if I mentioned it. Those the nuts and bolts I used, I'll never have to go searching for a 10 mil socket because they're 11 mil. So I don't have to worry about that, do I? Looking for a 10 mil socket. So anyway, there it is, all hooked up. Transmission lines hooked up. Don't know if you can see it, it's again a bit dark. So it's all done. So all I have to do now is button it up, as they say. Just finish putting those rivets in, put the grill back in, the front bar on, and then I'll put the right inner guard on, or in, whatever you want to call it, but I'll leave the left one off so the electrician could access the wiring for the fan. And then take it to Geelong Performance Center and see what Paul wants to do to it. So yeah, I'll keep you updated with scope what Paul does to the car, and looking forward to taking it out to the track again. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye.